Hi everyone. My name is Poli, and I'm a senior instructional designer at iSpring. So, today we are diving into a critical topic that affects both corporate training and academic institutions: cheating in online assessments. As technology evolves, so do the challenges faced by trainers and instructors. But we are here to help you cheat-proof your tests. Cheating presents a widespread. Recent statistics show over 60% of university students admitting to some form of cheating, and a notable increase during COVID. According to Inside Higher Ed, 93% of instructors believe online cheating is more prevalent than in person. Remote learning introduces added complexities, making it easier for learners to engage in dishonest practices. Clearly, the digital learning landscape has led to some enormous challenges. So let's take a look at our agenda today and see what we can do to tackle these challenges. We will go through this list of 6 strategies you can do to make sure that your tests are cheat-proof. Set time limits, enhanced question variation, limit feedback display, modify answer slides, limit attempts, and log navigation. So raise your hand if you've ever cheated on a test. Sorry, just kidding. Don't raise your hand. This is not a test of your integrity. But if you did cheat, remember, Google sees all and there is no incognito mode on your history. Okay, before we start, let's have a quick poll. Please write your answers in the chat. So, have you ever caught someone cheating on a test that you created or proctored? First, yes. Number one option is yes, I'm absolutely an e-cheating detective. 2, yes, but I'm sure I've missed many cheaters. And 3, no, my tests are 100% cheat-proof. So, Chris, I will definitely need your help here with chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be there for you. Gonna get the answers first. Well, I'm sure the option number 3 is reserved for you only. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm sure there are other professionals who can share their expertise. Most of the participants share option number 2. And they believe that they've missed a lot of cheaters. But to tell you the truth, I find it very funny that when you asked a question about cheating, there were some people who raised hands and said yes, yes, about cheating themselves as well. Okay, I think, yeah, for the majority, it's 2. Some of those are 1. And there is also an answer from Triple that says 1.5. So it's somewhere in between 1 and 2, I assume. But that's a very smart answer.
Yeah, okay. I love this one too.
Okay, I think we can proceed because there is still a little delay in our live transmission. So yeah, we might need to continue.
Awesome. So let's go ahead. So today we will work in iSpring Quizmaker, which comes with our award-winning authoring tool, iSpring Suite. It enables you to generate online quizzes and tests using pre-designed questions templates, customized design and testing rules, and easily track employees' results online. So let me quickly open our iSpring Quizmaker and show you how it looks. So it will appear in a moment. I believe that you will see it on your screen right now. So today we will work with a pre-made quiz. So we will work with real examples. And here's our quiz editor. Here you can add new questions, you can add info slides, and you can also add question groups. So in iSpring Quizmaker, there are 14 question templates to choose from. So let's start with our first strategy. So here we go. Strategy 1. set time limits. So some users may attempt to cheat by seeking external assistance or using unauthorized resources. The solution is to add timers to presentation and question slides. This features like automatic advancement or restricted navigation, just to manage the pace of content delivery. Time limits force users to think fast and leaving less time to search for answers elsewhere. You compel learners to focus on the material, reducing the chance of distraction or consulting external sources. So let me show you how it works in iSpring. So I will go back to my quiz. It will appear on your screens in a moment. So first of all, we need to go to properties right here. After that, we need to go to General Properties tab. So here we are able to set a time limit for the entire quiz. So users right now will have 10 minutes to complete all the questions. If they don't complete the questions in time, let's say the timer ran out and there's still on question 2, the quiz will automatically close. And all the questions what our learners haven't given a response to will be counted as failed. Now, if we go to question properties, we will also see the same setting here. But in this case, this setting will set a time limit for each question, not for the entire quiz. So I will select this option and I will leave it as it is right now, 2 minutes to answer the question. Now we need to scroll down, click apply to all, make sure that the restriction is selected and click apply to apply this to all the questions in our quiz. So I will click save because if you want to give users more time to answer a specific certain question, let's say drag and drop question, make sure that if we open it on the right side, that the option limit time to answer a question is selected. And now I will change it to 5. So in this case, my learners will have 5 minutes to answer this particular question. If we set this up here, it will not be applied to other questions which we have in the quiz. Okay, now we set the timer for our questions and for the entire quiz. Now it's time to move on with our second strategy. Strategy 2, enhance question variation. Students might collaborate by sharing or discussing answers with peers, right? And potentially, they will use memorization tactics to exploit the assessment structure. So you can create a unique question order by implementing both randomized question selection and question shuffling. Questions are not only randomly drawn from a larger pool, but also presented in varying orders. By introducing unpredictability into both question content and order, this strategy disrupts memorization tactics, making collaborative cheating less likely to occur or to be successful. So, of course, let me demonstrate you how you can implement this with iSpring. So, for that, we need to go to properties again. So here we go. And this time we will switch to the question list tab. So here we will be able to see all the settings available. So right now in my current quiz, I only have one question group, but if you have more than one, you can select the option which calls from several random groups. And after that, select amount of groups users will see questions from. So this option basically is set so that Then a user starts a quiz, a random group of questions is selected. The system will randomly show users a random question group from your quiz. Also, you can select from selected groups. If you have more than one group, you can just uncheck some question groups. So in this case, the question from this question group won't be shown to learners. And of course, you can also randomize the amount of questions users get from a question group. So let me show you how. You just need to mark this checkbox right here. And after that, select the number of questions which will be shown. Let's say 2 out of 4. Let's say if you set 2 out of 4, it means that our users will get 2 random questions out of 4 that we have in our question group. And one more settings, which you can set up here, is shuffle quiz questions. This means that every time a user opens up a quiz, the questions will be presented in a random order. So question number 5 might be placed as the first question, and question number 2 might be placed as the last question. Okay, I think that we've done this strategy, and now it's time to move on to the next one, which is limit feedback display. So some users might explore trial and error methods during online assessments, attempting to figure out correct answers through repeated tries and relying on detailed feedback to inform further attempts, trying to gain an advantage in answering questions more accurately. Instead of providing detailed feedback, you may choose to display only essential information, such as points earned or a past failed outcome. Or you might decide to disable feedback completely. This restriction aims to prevent learners from gaining extensive insight into correct answers, reducing the likelihood of collaboration on specific answers or strategies, and ultimately discouraging cheating. So now let me show you how you can set this up in iSpring. So to set this, we need to go back to properties. So I go to properties here. Then this will switch to question properties right here. If I scroll down to the feedback section, here we can see 2 options. Show feedback for graded questions and show feedback for survey questions. Feedback is basically what users see when they answer a question, like a pop-up window with your message which you set up for your learners. In my case, I don't want learners to know whether they're given the correct response or not, because they can screenshot it and send it to their peers. This is something that I don't want, right? So I'm going to entirely disable feedback for the quiz. So again, go to properties, question properties, and I will uncheck both options. After that, to apply changes, I need to click versus apply to all. Make sure that the show feedback option is selected and click apply it to all questions without my quiz. So now the feedback disabled, and now I will save the changes. Okay, this strategy is done. Now it's time to move on to the next strategy. Modify answer slides. So some users might try to cheat by trying to get the correct answers after an assessment. This may involve memorizing specific solutions, instead of understanding the lessons overall. They may also share the answers with others in future assessments. So what is the solution? The solution is turning off the display of correct answers on results slides, or configure them to show only essential information, such as points earned or a past failed outcome. For example, in a certification program, adopting this approach, preserving a sense of mystery. This in turn motivates learners to actively engage with the entire course content. Okay, and now it's time to see how it will work in our quiz. So at this time, we need to go to quiz results slide, which is the very last one in the form view. And so that it's easier for us to see the slide itself, I will switch to the slide view. Okay, here we go. As you can see at the moment, there is a button called Detailed Report on the slide. So users, once they finish, will be able to click on this button, Detailed Report, right here, and see the entire quiz, the questions, the answers they've chosen, and whether it was right or wrong. Of course, we don't want them to be able to review the quiz because, again, they can just screenshot the question and answer and send it to their peers who haven't started taking the quiz yet. So let's just go ahead and hide this button. So to do this, on the right side, right here, I will unselect the option called Show Detailed Report. And I will also unselect option Allow users to review quiz. So right now, my learners will only be able to see their score and the passing score. So one more thing that you need to be aware of, that you need to make sure that you remove detailed reports from both of the slides, not only for quiz passed, but for quiz failed as well. So let me open it up and I will unselect the same options for this slide as well. Sometimes I kind of forget to disable those options, so I want you to be aware of it. Okay, and now we are done this strategy. It's time to move on to the next one. Limit attempts. So users may try to cheat by repeatedly trying different options in assessment, retries to find the correct answers, the gems fitting. But in your settings, you can choose to limit the number of attempts which users will have to pass a question or retry a entire quiz. So limiting attempts in assessments can prevent cheating by discouraging users from trying to discover correct answers through trial and error. When users know that they have only a limited number of attempts, they are less likely to engage in systematic guessing or cycling through options to find the right ones. This encourages a more thoughtful and focused approach to the assessment, promoting a genuine understanding of the material rather than relying on trial and error tactics. So let me show you how it works in iSpring. So we will go back to the quiz. And right now that we are on this results slide, you can see the option allow users to retry the quiz. So here it is. And you can see the retry quiz button on the slide. So once you enable the option allow users to retry the quiz, Learners will be able to just click on the retry quiz button and take the quiz one more time. And of course, I don't want users to have more than one attempt. So I'm just going to remove this option from the results slide. So we just unselect it. And again, don't forget to remove it for the second result slide for a quiz passed. So I will remove it from this slide as well. So now that we removed it from the results slide, we will move on to properties. Because in properties, you can also change the number of attempts, but not for the entire quiz, but for each question. If you set it to, let's say, 2 attempts, it means that then a user fails a question, they will be automatically given another attempt. So I will go to question properties and make sure the number of attempts is set up to 1. Okay. But now I will save the changes and let's go to this question. So if you set this up in properties, it will be kind of default setting. But of course, if you want to set up a specific number of attempts for a specific question, you can do this under slide options area. Let's say, but this is especially useful if you have some difficult questions and if you want to give your users more than just one attempt to complete it. And I also want to let you know, but if you want users to be able to pass the quiz only once, you also need to go to Player and switch to the navigation. Here we go. Here we have the option on Restart. So what it means is that when the quiz is uploaded to an LMS and when a user completes the quiz, closes it, opens up for the second time, and if it's set to prompt to resume, users will see a prompt. Either they're going to start taking the quiz all over again or continue from where they left off. If you set up to always resume, then opening the quiz for the second time, the quiz will always start as a last slide viewed. And if you select always start over, the quiz will always start from the beginning, no matter what. So since we want users to only have one attempt in the quiz, we will set this up to always resume. Now let's click Apply and Close to save the changes. And now let's move on back to our strategies and let's take a look at our strategy number 6, which is lock-in navigation. So some users might attempt to navigate forward or backward strategically to seek information quickly or let's say review previous content for answers. Lock-in navigation is a strategy that prevents cheating by restricting users' ability to navigate freely through the assessment content. The navigation is locked. Users cannot move forward or backward ahead of time, and they must follow a predetermined sequence. This helps prevent cheating because it keeps them focused on one question at a time, making it harder to find answers or get help from others. It's like making sure everybody follows the rules and stays on the right path during the test. Also, it can be used to ensure users see something only once, reducing the chances of quickly advancing to find answers or reviewing previous information. So now let me show you how it all works in iSpring. So now I will need to go to player. Here we go. And go to navigation. So let's take a look at the answer submission section. Here we have the option, submit one question at a time. When it's set to submit one question at a time, users have to respond to each question before they can proceed to the next one. And they are not able to go to the previous questions. But if you choose submit all at once, users can just move on, skip a question, and then answer the next one. And after that, go back to the previous one. So, okay, when you select submit one question at a time, if you don't want to show your learners correct answers, make sure that they reveal the correct answer after failed attempts option is unselected. Because if a user makes a mistake and this option is selected, they will be able to see the correct response. Also, we need to switch to the features tab right here. Here we have another option called show question list. And in this case, if you use this option, if you select it, users will be able to move between the questions using the question list. So it will be like a drop-down menu of all the quiz questions. And of course, we don't want our learners to use this. So I will make sure that it's unselected. Okay, so it was our last strategy for today. Now you know how to make your test 100% cheat-proof. And now let's see what else I have for you. And it's exciting news, but we were so we waited for this option for so long. And I'm thrilled to announce that recently we released the iSpring Suite plugin for Moodle. Previously, the quiz and role play statistics in Moodle were difficult to interpret since detailed reports were limited to Moodle's native quizzes. Now you can access comprehensive visual LMS reports on iSpring quizzes and knowledge checks. Educators can now review students' performance more quickly and easily. With clear, organized reports, they can get a clear picture of how learners are doing without spending hours sifting through data. And of course, let me show you how to publish your thesis and your content with iSpring, which will be ready to be uploaded to Moodle. So I will close our player options, and now I will click versus publish. Now we need to switch to the LMS tab, and in the LMS profile, I will click and select Moodle from the drop-down list. If you have it not only for iSpring Quizmaker, but for iSpring Suite too, and if you want to set up settings before publishing to Moodle, you can go ahead and customize them. After publishing, you will get a zipped file that you can upload to Moodle. But before uploading a course to Moodle, you have to install the iSpring module plugin, and you can install that plugin in Moodle just in one click. And that's all. So there are many things that I want to share with you today, but we don't have much time. And that's why I'm inviting you guys to join me at DevLearn this year. We will be at the booth 503 from November 6th to 8, and I will be happy to see you there in person. If you can make it to Vegas, don't worry, you can meet us at other conferences as well. So here on the slide is a list of the major events we will attend in the near future. If any of these conferences interest you, please let us know after this event by filling out our feedback form, and we will contact you directly. So now I think it's time for the Q&A session.
Absolutely. Anna, thank you so much for this presentation. First and foremost, I should say that I do not see any questions so far in the chat, but that's probably because the participants were just eagerly following every step of the way how you were showing all those practical tips. So let's give them a little moment of time. But may I just jump in with my own question first and ask you, which is your favorite cheat-proof technique strategy that you've been delivering, showing to us today?
Well, I can actually tell you about the one which scares me the most as a student.
Gosh. Okay, what kind of an occasion was it? All right, please continue.
So the time limit makes my anxiety just go wild.
Okay.
I think, oh my God, I don't have time. But it's still the good techniques though. Those there definitely no doubts about it. I don't know. I love to combine several techniques together because I think in this case they will work better together.
Okay, great.
So I love to log navigation. I'm not, I don't really love those timers because I'm so nervous about them. And I don't want to put my learners into this, but this still can be a good one. If you really, really want to find out what your learners learn, that's definitely a good one.
Sure.
What else? And number of attempts. I think that's the fair technique because you can actually make instructions for your learners and make them aware about how many attempts they have. So you will let them know what they need to work on the test and show what they got.
Yeah. Sure. I'm now very confused because every time during an intensive course or a conference like that, I interrupt you and I tell you, oh, Anna, we have very little time left. Is that, does my action provoke a trigger or something? I hope it's not the case.
No, that's not the case. That's definitely the case if we have, I don't know, final exam or something.
Okay. Gotcha.
Then yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Two last questions we have, and then we call it a day. Is it possible to save the settings as default for the quiz so you don't need to set them every time?
So let's say if you have so many questions in your quiz, in this case, I will recommend that you use properties. So in this case, if you apply them once, they will be saved for the entire quiz and they'll be available for all the questions. As per, let's say, a number of attempts and kind of export import thing, there's no that option. But if you open up the player and set up settings like features, navigation there, and click export, all the options that you set up for a player, let's say log navigation, the submission type all at once, or one question at a time, they will be saved and applied to other courses.
Right, great, thank you. I'm sure Keira would be happy to hear that answer. And a question from Corey. Is the AI generator built into iSpring quiz generation within PowerPoint?
No, so there's no option which allows you to generate questions directly in our Afferent tool.
Not yet.
That sounds like a good feature request, you know.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
yet, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. But you can still generate them in iSpring Cloud and just add them to your BizMaker.
Great. Okay. Anna, thank you very much for this helpful workshop.